All right, guys, we are going to do a collage today about yourself. Please be creative on this. It can be anything about you. It doesn't have to be everything about you. So choose things you're interested in. And more importantly, I'm going to grade it based on sort of your art skills that we're going to talk about today. We're doing this assignment in Google Drive because we're going digital this year. So what I used to do was a traditional collage. We pulled out the magazine scissors and glue and snipped away and put it together. This offers you more freedom in some ways, and I still think it's an interesting way to think about size and placement. Those are two key concepts in art. So here we go. In Google Drive, you're going to start with hitting New. By the way, this is the only way I've found Google Drawings. It is not in that little waffle thing over here. So always go to Drive, New, and then you even have to go down to More and over to Google Drawings. What's going to open up is a gray and white checkerboard. That gray and white checkerboard is what's called a canvas in digital art. It is also considered transparent. If I were to only put one image floating in the middle here and I shared it out, all they would get is one image. They won't see this checkerboard. Okay, so that's just something to know about digital art. I always recommend you title right away. I like you to put the last name, your last name, into your title, and this is your collage. Okay, you'll be sharing it to me when you're done. Now, first requirement and first step is to give me a background. I want a scene. I do not want a collection of images all jumbled together. You are creating what should look like a new picture. I'm going to start with picking an image to be my background. Now you're going to go with Insert, Image. You may upload from the computer. If you are working on your computer or you have images on your Chromebook, awesome. Especially if there's something from like a cool vacation or you just saw a sunset from Mount Diablo, great. Otherwise, you can always search the web. So I'm going to go over here to the sidebar on the right and start searching images. Now, I kind of want you to do some hints about yourself. So where is your favorite place to be? Could be your bedroom. It could be the basement. It could be the beach. I really like the mountains. So I'm going to search mountain, river, because I also really like being at a river in the mountains. So going down here, I like this one. It's nice and sunny. You can click it and it will check mark and you could hit insert, or you can be like me and just drag it on over. Takes a minute to load. Now you want to fill the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag. So when I drag and there's a little cross mark there, sorry, I know some of you already know this, but in case you don't, there's a cross. That means I can drag the picture. We want to drag right now because I'm going to try to fill this up. I can stretch the picture. If I grab a side dot, any of these ones right in the middle of a side, I can really stretch it out. That looks kind of weird. I don't really want to stretch it out. I'm trying to kind of stay to the size of this canvas. So I'm going to drag down. It's going to be a little bigger than the canvas. For this project, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, so there's my image that I'm going to start with. Now I have a background. Next, you need to start adding objects. I want 8 objects, I think. If I changed my requirements, go ahead and check PowerSchool. It should say right there. You're going to start adding things to this. Now the key is, so going back to my search bar, again, you could search your own pictures if you have stuff, little cartoons you've made even. But the key thing is I'm trying to make this picture look real. So let's see, what's something about myself? I really like reading. I'm going to search by using the word transparent, and I like reading. If I just searched reading, I'll get a bunch of images, no big deal. But by searching transparent reading, notice that a lot, not all, but a lot of these images have a plain white background. That means if I select and drag them, it will only be the objects and not the whole rectangle that's dragging into my picture. This right here, the glasses, not a good option. It's going to drag in that whole gray bar, that whole gray box. I don't want that. So let's see, what do I like here? Kind of like her. She looks like she could be happy sitting on a beach by the river, right? Excellent. Now, she's too big. So again, size and placement. She's too big. I'm going to make her smaller. I'm also not going to put her floating up in the sky. That doesn't look real. So if something's closer to me, it might be bigger. It also needs to be lower in the scene so she looks closer to me. And she's just plain too big for the particular image that I chose. So keep that in mind as you choose your picture. Still, she's kind of big, isn't she? She also has big feet. What is that? Let's see. I'm going to stick her right there. I click out a lot to make sure I think it looks good. That's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad for this project. She looks like she could be sitting there on the beach. Maybe I'll even drag it a little bit more. Okay. Now, what else do I want to add? I'm going to keep this word transparent as I keep adding images for what we just talked about. I don't want stuff with a rectangle around it. I like dogs. That dog's kind of cute, but it's the wrong way. Could I use that? Should I grab that dog? That's not the one I grabbed before. I'm going to grab it. Looks like a puppy. It's cute. Okay. He should be facing her. First of all, he's too big. Let's squish him down so he actually looks like he's sitting there. Now, right now, he looks like he's staring at a bird in the trees. I want him to be staring at her because that's cuter. You can flip an image. I'm going to right-click, rotate. That's always the one that's hard to find, rotate. It gives you the option to rotate 90 degrees. That's just turning like the image flat on the screen as if you were turning a piece of magazine around. We aren't turning it. I want to flip it over. So I'm going to go flip horizontally. Otherwise, he'd be upside down. Oh, look. Let me put him down a little bit and over. And he kind of looks like he's looking over at her. That's cute. He's still a little big for the size of her. Okay. I'm happy with that. So there's my little dog, and there she is reading. Let's see, what's another thing about me? I really like gardening, and my favorite flower is a morning glory. So I'm going to go ahead and search transparent morning glories. Now, unfortunately, most of these, I don't really like that one. This is going to be a square image, not just the flower. I guess I'll go with this one. This one's kind of cool. I'm going to drag it over. My thinking here is I'm going to make flowers that are sort of climbing up that tree, so just kind of hide that left side. That's way too big. Grab the corner. I'm not trying to distort it. Shrink it down. Let's see. Does that look better? Still kind of big, don't you think? Make it a little smaller. Okay. That's kind of cool. Now, a trick. You can copy this image exactly, so I don't have to grab another, because I'm going to have flowers going up the whole side here. I could grab it again, but I just sat there shrinking it down. So instead, I'm going to right-click, copy, right-click, and paste it. If you know a better way, awesome, do it. Now I'm going to drag that around. I don't want the exact same thing, so first of all, I'm going to shrink it down to create a little variety here. I think I'll also tilt it. To tilt an image, to turn it just a little bit, I'm going to grab this little dot that's up here. When I put my mouse on it, it turns into a cross. So I'm going to put it on there, and I'm just going to tilt it and take a look. Is that better? It's a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more. Now, the other problem I have here is it's overlapping the first flower I put on. These things layer in order, just like if you grabbed a magazine and you flopped it on the table, and then you grabbed another picture and put it on top. The second picture is on top. So to fix that in Google Draw, I'm going to right-click, go to Order. I'm going to send this picture backward. And now look, it's decided to layer behind my first image. So that's an important trick. And I'm going to right-click and paste again because it's still in my clipboard, they call it. And add another flower. I'm going to make it way smaller this time. I'm going to tilt it the other way. Drag it up here. And tuck it in there maybe. And again, I'm going to order, send it backward. Whoops, it didn't work that time. I tell you what, send backward and forward and all that, it's finicky. So I'm just going to play with it and move it where I think it looks good, and I'm happy with that. I think I'll put one more in here. I'm going to show you another thing I want you to do. I'm going to make this one bigger. I would like to have one down kind of at the front. I don't want it to be identical to that one. That's getting redundant, right? So I'm going to right-click. Where'd it go? Rotate. Flip horizontally. Now I flipped the image. And I think I'm going to send it off the picture a little bit over there. So look how I'm hanging off the image. Sometimes that's cool, but for what we're doing right now, that's not going to work. We need a clean edge. So when you're done here, this has to have a clean, squared edge to the picture. Let's crop it. I'm going to take part of this picture off, like scissors, right? I'm cutting it away. So what I did was double click, grab one of these black bars. So a dark border showed up. I'm going to grab that black bar and I'm going to drag it in till it lines up with the edge of the picture. You saw that red guideline that was happening. Do the same thing down here. I'm going to drag up. And right when I hit the edge of the picture, it has a red line to tell me like, ding, 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 you hit it. Okay. It grayed out the area that I'm cropping. I'm happy with that. I'm going to click out of the image and now it's got a nice clean cropped edge to it. So that's another thing to pay attention to as you're working through your picture. Moving on, I'm happy with my flowers. Let's take a look. That's kind of cool, doesn't it? What else about me? Let's see. Oh, art, obviously. I got to put something in here about art. I'm your art teacher, for Pete's sake. Easel, that's kind of like the classic. Everyone thinks of an easel when we think of art. I'm not loving all these images. This first one was actually my favorite. I like the one with the canvas on it. I don't like the one that's just a naked easel. So I'm going to drag this over. Almost every time I have to shrink them down because they're given to me really large. And I don't need two easels. That looks weird. Let's see, where's my image going? Okay. I'm going to double click. And I'm going to crop that first easel out. I need the one with just the canvas. Okay. Click out of there somewhere and it makes it permanent. Oh no, I did want both easels. Eek! Hit undo. It's over here in the left corner. It's your best friend. Undo. Oh wait, yeah, I don't like that. Never mind. Redo. Done. Those buttons are important. Now again, I'm going to have this. It doesn't make sense. It can't really be floating in the river, but hey, maybe I could have it kind of down here, like peeking in. So again, double click. It's hanging off my image now. I'm going to drag up till I see the red guideline. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen. That's okay. Crop. That cropped weird. What was it doing? Undo. Right? I don't know what happened there. I'm going to click out and try that again. Double click. I should be able to drag it up. There's the red line. Ha! Crop. Click way over here somewhere so I know it's done. Ta-da! Now that is just one basic boring easel. I love landscape painting. It's actually one of my favorite things to do when it comes to art, and I will make you do some this semester. So I just typed in landscape painting to get lots of paintings. Think about this just while we're here. You could add things like a frame on the wall of your room and put a picture in it. You could add a window frame in your room and then add some amazing picture that's happening outside your room. Those are cool things to do if you want to do a room. I like this painting here. I'm going to grab it. Of course, it's going to be huge. Grab that corner, shrink that down. Drag. Am I getting close? Nope. It does not look like it belongs on that easel yet. So remember, size. Size is key. It looks like it belongs there, but it's too squared up. So I'm going to grab that little round circle again. Just slightly tilt it. Click out. Yeah, that looks okay, doesn't it? Maybe it's off center a little bit, and maybe it's actually a teeny bit big. So play with that. Your goal is to make this look like it belongs there. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Okay, I've got a painting. What else can I say about myself? Oh, one thing you have to say about yourself is your name. You are going to insert text to this image. You could insert, I just grabbed insert text box, which is actually a button right here. You can do that and start typing in there. And this works kind of like a Word document. You could hit enter, blah, blah, blah. But I would prefer to see you do something different. So I'm going to delete that text box. What I want to see you do, which is way more fun and more artistic, is to go insert word art. And it's going to give you a box to type in whatever you want to do, which better be your name. Done. And it's always going to come up like this with this Arial basic font, and each letter has a little outline around it. If you look close, there's a gray outline around the letters, and it comes in this pale blue color. Now, the cool thing here, different from a text box, I can take this and stretch it. I can make it humongous. It's working like a picture now instead of like a text box. So I am able to manipulate the letters in a much more creative way. I don't care for any of what I just did. And let's see, you can change the font. You're not stuck with that. So just like a text box, I can still go font change. And like most text, I can go to my color option. So fill color. I want to change that color. Actually, no, I don't. Change my mind. What I don't like, perhaps I'm just giving you a suggestion here, I don't like the little outline around the letters. So if you don't want that, you can select transparent. Do you see how that little outline went away? Now, I was going to put this up in the sky, and I sort of like that light blue. Let's see, I'm going to go italic because I want it to lean more. It's a little squishy. Let's see. Okay. I like that, but you see how it's disappearing here with the clouds? The colors are too similar. I have so many colors going on. I think it actually needs that border. So I'm going to go back. I think I like that dark charcoal. And I might be able to up how thick it is. So choosing there, I just made the outline even thicker. So that's another option to play with your word art. So get your name in there, okay? Let's see, still too big. And I'm gonna drag it down because I just decided I want Christmas lights. I love Christmas time. It's my favorite time of year. It's so much fun with the family and it's sparkly and cold out. So I'm going to add Christmas light. What the heck? Lights. Transparent Christmas lights because I need them to fit. Now again, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. These are my options here. And if I kept looking, kind of like these, I'm going to drag them over into the picture, let it do its thing for a second. Okay, that's not going to work there. So I kind of wanted it to drape across the top of the picture. So let's get it in here. I'm going to stretch it. I don't mind. I'm going to manipulate these Christmas lights. They're hanging too low in the picture too. That's sort of distracting. I'm going to drag it up. I think I'll drag it up even some more. Stretch it a little bit more. Okay, it's covering Mrs. Collins. So what do? Right click, order, send it backward. Let's see if it works. Worked perfectly that time. Ta-da! Uh-oh, that has a border on it. Do you guys see when I click out here, do you see this little gray line in here? I don't want a border on that picture. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to go in here. This is your border where I have my mouse right here. Nope, that's border. Wait, sorry. Border color. I don't want a border on that. Goodbye. Transparent. Okay, transparent, like invisible. A window is transparent. Okay, so I've got some Christmas lights, some flowers because I like to garden, a dog, I like to read, painting. Not digging this house over here. It's kind of like an ugly hotel. So I think I'm going to put a church there. But I'm going to search cathedral. So wordsmith this, guys. When I searched church before, I didn't get much that was interesting. And when I put in cathedral, kind of the same thing, way more interesting stuff came up. So play with your words that you're searching. I like this one. I'm going to stick it over here. I was definitely raised Catholic. Lots of Catholic in my house. So it's kind of part of my history and my family. Man, that could be kind of cool if I like left it sort of big and sent it backward. It's not what I did originally. Let's see what happens. Order. I had issues with this image not going backward. I don't know why. I'm no expert. It doesn't want to go backward the way I want it to. It did a little bit. Let's keep going. And remember, when you send backward, it's going backward one image at a time. Oh, look, see, it's behind my picture, but not the canvas. That's because I put the picture on after the canvas. So let's go send backward. I would have to do this for a little while. I'm not sure I care this much. Maybe I do. I don't know. Send backward. I would have to go a bunch, right? Because it's basically working through every single image I put in here, and that even includes every single flower. So that would take a while. Let's see if I can grab the girl. Oh, right click. And instead, bring her to the front. Oh, there she is. Hello. Do I like it like that? I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. It's cheesy, but it sort of makes the picture look like a fun little postcard. So maybe my river in the mountains has a cathedral sitting in it. Though I did ask you guys to be realistic, and that's not quite realistic. So I'm going to sort of drag it up, drag it around here, see if I can make it look like it's sitting there. I could leave it like that. I think really to be accurate, it should be way down. Oh, there I go. I always open my dictionary with this Mac mouse. That looks a little bit more realistic, doesn't it? So we'll go like that, even though I thought the other one was fun. Okay, so there I go. I'm happy with that. I have clean edges. I've included a bunch of objects with transparent backgrounds to fill my scene and tell you about myself. I included my name and I used word art to do that. And I have a nice background image to make this feel like a scene. Every item I put in here, I sized it and I moved it around. I placed it so that it looks sort of like a realistic picture. Okay, not totally realistic. There's Christmas lights hanging over trees in the mountain, but it's a fun postcard type of style. So this is your project. I want you to make sure that you give me editing rights if you can. I'm no Google expert, but when you share it or kind of finalize this, I want to be able to edit because I'd like to make sure that I can manipulate images so I can talk to you about that and also sort of make sure that you did the work and you just copy and paste some random thing from the internet, okay? So that's the task at hand. You can see my example still on the PowerSchool page, as well as the instructions or really the requirements written out for you. Just let me know if you have questions. Thanks for listening.